Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to do something really fun, and it's always been my dream to be on the cover of Vogue, so I decided to do a look based on that and like what I would do if I was, how I would look. So I did my makeup and my hair of how I would do it if I was on the cover. There's really not much else to say. Sorry, once again, I say this every video, but I'm sorry that there's always so long of a wait between videos, but I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below if you have anything you want me to know. And that's about it. Tell your friends about this video. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're first going to start out with a moisturizer, and this is just because Vogue is very like your skin but better with some like graphic liner and things like that. So I just want to make sure that my skin looks nice and hydrated and moisturized and just like naturally radiant. Now once again, I have blemishes here and there, and Vogue is very like good skin, like I said. So I'm gonna go over the areas where I have like a pimple here or there and just cover that like this. I'm using a really high coverage concealer, the Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade 100, and I'm just going over these areas. I think that was actually a freckle, whoopsie. I'm just going over these areas. And I'm not really going to blend it. I know it looks a little weird. I'm not going to blend it. I'm just going to leave it like this. And then that way when it dries and we put the foundation over top, it'll just be like flawless. So I'm just going to kind of blend just a little bit around the edges so it's not so harsh. And then also I'm going to do, I don't know what to call this. I'm going to call it an underpainting, just because like if you're painting a picture, especially with like oil paints and things like that, you have to create an underpainting. So I'm kind of relating it to that. And I'm going to do my contour before the rest of my face. I'm going to blend that out barely. This looks a little crazy, I know. I never really do it on my chin, but since we're doing the foundation over top, it can't be too bad. And then I also like to go under my lip and create like a shadow. Once again, I know I look crazy. And then I'm now going to go in with a brush and just barely blend this stuff out, because when we put the foundation over top, we still want this to be kind of underneath. So just barely blending it. Now that you look like a complete disaster, we're going to fix this. I'm now going to go in with this BH Cosmetics BH Liquid Foundation Naturally Flawless. I don't know, I never know which ones are the names. In the shade Natural Beige. Oh yeah, and I have my hair up looking a little crazy because I'm actually going to go, and I have like a little hair tutorial I'm throwing in here with how I would do my hair also. So I'm now going to blend that in with a beauty blender and just get like a nice little airbrushed finish. I keep noticing that I'm like covering my mic with my arm, and I'm so scared like I'm gonna go back over and the audio is gonna be really bad. See, in all those places where we put the concealer, it's very light, like because this foundation isn't exactly full coverage, or what I would consider full coverage. So all those places that we put the concealer over, they were already covered, so I can still go in with a light coverage foundation and my skin will still look nice because none of the blemishes will peek through. And I'm going to blend down to my neck so we don't have any weird foundation lines, especially because we brought the contour down to the chin. We want to make sure that there's not like a line. I'm now going to go in with the Smashbox face palette. You can tell it's a disaster, but the reason why it's so messy is because when I do these things, I kind of mix them all together and just go with it. So these two shades, the bronzer and the contour, I just like swirl it around. It's like my little paint palette. And I'm going to go in. I don't know why I'm tapping it. It's a cream. Nothing's going to come off. And I'm going to place that everywhere where I want a deeper contour. And the reason I use a fan brush is it kind of blends out on its own. And it just does everything by itself. Makes my life easier. Now this is a lot of makeup, so I wouldn't recommend this for everybody because not everybody likes to wear a lot of makeup, and some people are going to look at me like I'm crazy. But this is just how I like to do it. And then not much on the nose because I don't really want that deep of a contour on my nose. But I am going to go on the tip a little bit so it kind of lifts my nose up. And then I'm just going to lightly whoosh right on the top like that. Now, ideally, if I was actually on the cover of Vogue, I'd probably do, if I was doing my own makeup too, because obviously there's makeup artists. But anyway, if I actually were to get on the cover of Vogue, I'd probably end up doing makeup on my chest. And I have some things that I'm going to do, but I don't want to put on like a full foundation on my chest just because I just don't want to. But if I actually were to be on the cover of Vogue, I would. But I do have this Milani Intense Bronze Glow, and it's very glittery, and it's for your body. And I'm going to put that everywhere. And I'm also going to highlight like the shoulders and my collarbone just so it looks popping. Now I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. And I'm just going to put that on my Cupid's bow. A little dab. Okay, that was a lot. A little bit on my chin. Down the bridge of my nose. I put on a lot, so I'm just trying to spread it around. And then under my eyes. Now this is brightening, so I'm kind of going to focus it right here. And since I'm not doing like my usual like Instagram bright under eye thing, I'm just putting on like truly just focusing it right on that inner corner. And I'm also going to apply on my lid as an eyeshadow base. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend this all out. Just that little bit of concealer on the chin like kind of makes it pop out more. I'm now going to go in and set my face using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder in the shade 05. This is my favorite one because it still makes the skin look really soft, but at the same time it doesn't make it look cakey. So I'm just going to pick that up, still using my wet beauty blender so then I don't get cakey. And it really helps just melt into the skin. I'm going to put that under my eyes where I crease and really focus it just in the crease areas because I don't want to set my face too much because I'm going to lose all that glow. So just really focusing it in those crease areas. I'm also going to put a lot on my nose just because my nose is the only area in my face that gets oily. The rest of my face is pretty freaking dry. So I'm going to set my nose just so my makeup doesn't move, and then I'm going to do my smile lines so I can smile all I want to and not have to touch up my makeup. And then one more area that I'm going to set is right here, my little, because if I get all those wrinkles right there. So just right there I'm going to set. Now for blush, I'm going to use the Gigi Gorgeous blush in the shade Authentic. And I'm going to use the back of my beauty blender that I've been using for my foundation. And I'm going to pick up some of that. And the reason I'm not using a brush is because once again, I want it to just look like my skin, but better. So I'm just trying to make like a little natural flush. Now I also don't want it too intense as I cake it on, but I also don't want it too intense because the look that I'm doing is red, and too much red is like, it's just going to look like I'm a clown. So I want to make sure everything's nice and balanced. And I'm also going to put some on the tip of my nose, like the front part of it. Really everywhere. I'm one of those people who puts blush everywhere. It just makes your face look so alive, and I love it. And then I'm going to go in with the Juvia's Place highlighter in the shade Cleo. Now, I've always wanted to be on the cover of Vogue just because I feel like everybody on Vogue makes it, and I don't want to just aim to be in Vogue. I want to be on the cover of it. And I will get there one day, I hope. But if you guys don't know, Vogue is kind of like a fashion magazine. It's where, like, not just fashion, like fashion and lifestyle and makeup and just success in the world of beauty. I don't know how to really word it. So I've always wanted to be on the cover of it, and I want to do this makeup look especially for it just because red is my favorite color. Oh, I guess you don't really know I'm doing a red look, but anyway. Red is my favorite color in the whole wide world. Well, anyway, I wanted to do a red look just because when I wear red, I feel so empowered, and I feel like I can take on the world, and if I make it to Vogue, then I have taken on the world, so red is just kind of symbolizes that. And it's also a very bold color, and I'm a very bold person, so I feel like that also represents me really well. And then I'm also going to put it right here on my temples, so when the light hits it, I once again look really glowy. So that's basically the whole purpose of this, is to have very glowy skin. And then for my nose, gonna go down the bridge, just like that. And then some on the Cupid's bow. Okay, now for eyebrows, I'm going to sketch them out using the Ardell Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown, and I'm going to use the brush that it came with. I've had this for a while, so the spooly's broken off. This is all worn down, but the reason why I keep using the exact same one is because since it's old, it's worn down the tip so much to where it's really thin and I can get exact lines. So I'm going to pick up that product and swipe it in the lid. And then I'm going to just sketch out my eyebrows. And I'm not that worried about it because for one, since we didn't set the eye, when I put the eyebrow on, if it messes up, since it's a cream underneath, I can just kind of correct it and wipe it and make sure everything's all good. Now here comes the hard part, trying to duplicate this eyebrow onto this one. And I'm losing my light. Anyway, well, I guess it kind of looks better now that it's not like blinding and you can see better. So one trick to do that is to take the point of your brow brush and just follow it over and draw a little dot. And then on the top one, you'd go as high as it is and draw it over and draw a little dot. You might do a little lower than that one. Now the only thing with that technique is you can't just bring that dot to that dot because this is the top one and this is the bottom one. You can, but then you have to do some like crossing maneuvers to make sure that they're equal. I don't know, it's really complicated. Now it's funny that I'm doing this because a lot of my art projects in school and stuff is I make these models and then I draw the Vogue logo with it. And I act like they're on the cover of Vogue and they're these weird models. And I kind of do that because that's me. Like I'm not like these other beauty gurus. I'm not bashing anybody who is, but I'm not into just a brown smoky eye. I'm not into things like that. Like I'm considered weird because like I'd rather walk around with Santa Claus on my head than I would with like a glam smoky eye. Like I don't know, that's just my style. So I love drawing these people because it's pretty much me. And I'm into high fashion and things like that, so Vogue just kind of fits in. Now I'm just going to inspect them. They look pretty good enough to me. They don't need to be perfect. Whose eyebrows are. Now using the James Charles X Morphe palette, I'm going to go into the shade T. As you can see, it's pretty worn down. And I'm going to dip into that shade using a paintbrush. And the reason I use a paintbrush is because it can get really, really thin to where regular makeup brushes that are meant for the eyebrows don't really go that thin, and I really need it to be. And I also wet the brush. Now I try and encourage people to use sanitary things like setting spray or maybe just water. But I use my saliva. And I'm okay with it. I would never do that on like somebody else. But for my face and my face only, that's what I use. So don't hate. The reason I wet it is because it gets the brush hairs to be really thin. And then also it will kind of pick up the product a lot more. And I just draw individual hairs going in the directions that if they were real, they would go. And I just build it up. And try your best to not do any lines at all. Not outlining the eyebrow. Try your best to not do that at all. Now I'm going in and doing the front hairs. For the front hairs, I just do little lines, getting farther and farther apart as you get forward. Just like that. Now they do need to be cleaned up just a little bit right there. But for the most part, that's that brow all done. I'm going to go ahead and do the other brow off camera. So I went ahead and did this eye off camera just so I could figure out what I'm doing and how I'm going to do it. So first I'm going to go into the NYX Highlight and Bronzer palette. And I'm going to go into the lightest bronzer shade. And I'm going to take that shade on a nice packed but still fluffy brush. And I'm going to bring that into my crease to add some definition. And then also bring that down to where it falls in line with the nose contour. If you see like what I'm meaning. and it just brings so much drama towards the eye. And then you can also fluff this out towards the end so it blends in with your contour that you already had. Now using the P. Louise base in the shade 0.5, I'm going to put that on the back of this little palette, or the front, I guess. And I'm going to pick that up on a flat crease cutting brush. And I'm just going to outline where I want this red. So here's my natural crease line, like you can see, or if I open my eye where that line is, I go right above it to open my eye up more. And bring it down. When I bring it down, I don't like connect it to that little dot. I bring it out more and it really opens up the eye. And now that we have that oval shape, now we're gonna wing it out. And to wing it out, now my eyes have it. It kind of varies between everybody's eyes because everybody has different shapes, so crease cutting is different for everybody. But for mine personally, I have like, this is like, I don't want to say fat, but it's like puffed out more. So I just go right underneath that and bring it around to the end of my eyebrow. Just like that. You know, one always turns out better than the other one. And then fill in the rest. And then connecting that line from the corner of my eye to that. Just like that, and then fill that in with the base. So now using the James Charles palette again, I'm gonna dip into the shade You're Kidding, which is that red shade, which obviously is one of my faves. And I'm gonna pick that up on, once again, a paintbrush. I use a lot of paintbrushes just because I feel like eyeshadow brushes, like they're just not made how I want them to be made. But paintbrushes now, those work. Anyway, I'm gonna pick up that shade with this flat packing paintbrush. And I'm gonna make sure all the creases are blended out in that little thing we just made, because if you pack on eyeshadow onto a creased base, then your eyeshadow will be creased. And then now we're going to pack on the red. And really just go ham with it and just make sure you stay in that line. And this brush helps with that because it's kind of flat, so you can really get up in those lines. And don't worry, if you do mess up, it's easy to clean up. You just put some concealer, correct it, and then blend that eyeshadow back in. Anyway, now that that's all packed on, I'm going to take a black pencil liner and just tight line my eyes. I like to first tight line the bottom. And not a lot of people can do this, so feel free to skip this step. But I really like the way it looks, and it makes your eyes look very dramatic. So anyway, I tight line the bottom. All right, that's all done. Now we're going to put on some mascara, and I've been loving the Maybelline The Falsies Volume Express Mascara. It's in the purple tube. I've been loving this one just because it really coats each individual lash without clumping them together. And the wand is like kind of bent, so you can just shape it around your eyes. I'm going to be applying falsies on anyway, so they don't need to be perfect. I just need them to be lifted so they can blend in with the fake eyelashes. But I'm now going to dip into the shade Spooky from the James Charles palette, and this is that black shade. And I'm going to smoke out my lower lash line, once again creating that drama. So first you just start with small amounts. You can always add more, but you can't take away. Well, I mean you can, but it's a lot to do. Now going back in with that Juvia's Place highlighter, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put it in my inner corners and then on my brow bone. So just like this, putting it on a packed brush and putting it on this inner corner right here. Create some light right there. And same thing on the other side. And then picking it up again and swiping it on the brow bone right underneath our eyebrow. I'm now going to apply my falsies off camera and I'll be right back. Now for lips, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Paris lipstick in the shade Lila's Red. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And it's just a nice, really bright red. And I'm going to put that all over my lips. And I also overline my lips, so it's really easy to do the bottom. Wow, that wasn't the right shade. That's really pink. Maybe I shouldn't use this red. We're using a different red. false alarm. I'm going to be using the Jeffree Star Mini Liquid Lip in the, Velour Liquid Lip in the shade Red Rum, because this is more of like a red. That was kind of too pink. This is more of like a true red. That's better. Now, I'm not necessarily done with the makeup. I still have to put like gloss on and other things, but I have to do the hair before I can do the rest of it, because if I put on gloss and then try to do my hair, it could get everywhere and not gonna be fun. Okay, I'm back, and now it's time for hair, and I know I look crazy. I pulled off four random little strands, and they're all like in the they're all in the outer perimeter of my face, so you'll see. I'm so excited about this. But now I'm gonna pull back the rest of my hair, leaving those four little danglers. I'm gonna leave those four and pull the rest of my hair back in a really, really tight ponytail. Okay, so I have that all slicked back. I did pull it back with some hair gel and put some on top so there's a nice coat with no flyaways. And I used the Tresemme hair gel number 5. It really is really strong and kind of turns my hair into like plastic. So with these four little pieces, I'm going to gel them down so each little strand is like an actual strand, like all stuck together. It's one little piece. So I'm going to strand those down, and then I'm also going to shape them to how I want them to shape, you'll see, and then spray them with lots of hairspray. Like a lot. Like, this is going to be psychotic. I probably should have did this before my makeup. No. I don't know. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing it and hoping and hoping and hoping that it works. So we're going to start with the outside pieces. So I'm just going to pull this piece out. This makes me nervous. Get a lot of hair gel. Now you do have to wait for it to dry after you put it on, so it's not just wet and you're just... So anyway, putting it on, lathering it on, maybe twist a little as you go so it's nice and put together. One piece, kind of done. And now it's time for these disasters. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous for this. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I can't show you this part. This is too hard to show because I need to be able to see it too. So I'll come back with the finished result. Okay guys, and here's the finished look. The hair was like practically impossible to get all the swiggles and then stick the gems, and I have so much lash glue like all over my skin right now because I had to stick the hair down without getting it everywhere else, and then I had to stick the gems on. Like, I don't know, it was very, very stressful, like very, very stressful. But anyway, oh wait, this isn't finished. I was gonna put on gloss so it looks like very juicy. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna put on gloss and then we're done. Okay, now we're done. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry that it was so messy and so rushed. I was like nervous to do this just because of all the hecticness that was going on and that I had to figure out how to do. So I'm really sorry that it was really crazy. And then also I filmed with a new mic. So I was just testing that out and I wonder how it's gonna do. And I was really nervous that it's gonna sound bad. So I was checking, like every time I filmed a scene, I was like checking it to make sure that it wasn't like scratchy and weird, and then I would end up covering the mic like that, and then I got scared that it wasn't gonna work. So that was also crazy. I'm sorry, I keep checking it out because I'm scared it's gonna fall apart. But anyway, I don't know what else to say. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions or anything you'd like to let me know, and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. And I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.